Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this super natural glowy makeup look. This is pretty much my everyday makeup look that I do, and I always get questions asking what I'm using, what I'm wearing, how I do it, so I thought I'd do a full tutorial on how I create this look every day. It's honestly super quick and easy, but it is my go-to look that I've done for years. Comment down below if you guys want me to do a fall inspired look, because I think that's going to be my next makeup tutorial. So let me know if you want to see something like that, and subscribe to my channel to see more. And without further ado, let's just get right into this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing I do, I actually already brush through my brows, but I always put a little bit of gel through them first. I used to do the pencil or the pen and then do the gel, but then I feel like that always just like messes up what you have underneath. So I always just kind of like brush them up and almost like on an angle so they get that like lifted look. But I don't like it when it's like soap brow, if that makes sense. Like I like it on the edge of a soap brow where it's like, okay, she's fluffy, she's lifted, but not where it looks like you're surprised all the time. Okay, not the look that I like. Obviously, to each their own. Makeup is an experiment. It is a reflection of you. So if that is you, do it up. That's not me. This is the NYX brow pen. Changed my life. So I always like to just fill in my brow now that the gel is in. I just have like a really good guideline of like where my sparse areas are, where I actually need some filling in. And I literally just kind of go along the natural shape of my brow. I mainly do the arch because I find that's typically where I need a lot of filling. The nice thing too about doing your brows first is you can tell if you've overdone it. Like sometimes if you have a full face of makeup on and then you do your brows, you almost like end up doing more because everything else is so done up. Whereas I feel like when you do them first, it's like you can tell like, oh, sis, I did too much, or it's like, okay, I need to do more. So next up is foundation. I always kind of switch up what I'm using. I love the Kosas one, but I'm literally out. Like I've actually scraped it clean. It doesn't even look like I have, but I actually can't get any more out of this. The other ones that I love are the NARS Natural Radiant. I use Mont Blanc. In this, I think I'm 110. Yeah, 110 neutral. And this I'm Mont Blanc. And then the one I've been using as my go-to foundation lately is the Makeup by Mario Surreal foundation. All of these give like a very lightweight feel, glowy look, but that medium to full coverage. I'd say the Kosas is like the most natural when it comes to coverage. Like you can really sheer it out. Whereas this one and the NARS are a little bit more of that like medium to full coverage. This one's in 2N. So as you can see, like I typically am like a neutral color, and either like the second, sometimes the third shade in the shade range, or sometimes the first. So just kind of depends on the range. And then I like to just kind of dot this all over. So I always kind of dot it in the center first, or wherever I want majority of the coverage, which typically is the center of the face. And then I'm just taking my Sephora 56 brush and just literally tapping this all out towards the perimeter. I don't really want a lot of coverage today because I don't really feel like I need it. There's also a heat wave going on right now, so I really don't want to feel like heavy on the skin. Not that this foundation can feel that way anyways, like it's very lightweight, but still I feel like less is more today. And I love that it just like keeps my skin looking like skin. And then I'm always tapping as well. If you want to sheer out the foundation, then you can kind of swirl the brush or swipe, but I like to tap just to build up. And then whatever's kind of left over, I just kind of start bringing down my neck. But I really like this color. I find it's a really good shade for me. And it just kind of like evens out my skin, takes away a little bit of the redness without me looking yellow, which is good. And I feel like it just like goes with my neck very well. So in the areas that I need, I have this little friend here. I'll always take a little bit more of the foundation that's on my hand, just kind of dot it in the areas that I need a little bit more coverage. This, in my opinion, is the best way to make your skin look perfected and to get the right coverage that you need to cover anything that you want to cover, whether it's acne or, you know, just spots, scarring, discoloration, whatever it is, without it having to feel heavy. Because you don't want to have to do like a full another layer just to cover up a little spot. So sometimes I kind of let it dry down as I am right now, and I'm just going to blend out the other areas of my face. Then again, I'm just gonna kind of tap and blend out. And whatever's left over, I kind of go around my mouth with, like above my mouth and then on my nose. Because I don't know why, but I just don't like a lot of foundation in this area. So I like to do less is more. And the nice thing is, like, you can always add. Like, start with a little bit, and then if you want to add, you can add. But sometimes you just end up starting with too much, and then you have, like, just so much stuff on your face, and it's just not a moment. So especially if you want that, like, no makeup, natural, fresh look, like, start with a little bit and then add from there. At this point, I don't have a lot of foundation on my hand, so I'm just going to take whatever's left over and go on my eyelids as well. And no, I don't typically use primer. Sometimes I do, and probably today I should have because it's so hot outside, but for me, I find setting spray makes more of a difference than primer. Now I'm gonna do some concealer. This one is my go-to at the moment. It's the Kosas, and I just kind of pop it right in the center, and then sometimes I do a little bit on the edge, and I'll do a little bit around the nose and on the cupid's bow, and a little bit here as well, because I find sometimes my makeup can separate here, or especially if I'm eating, like it just kind of melts away. So I like to do a little bit extra concealer in that area. And again, I'm just taking the same brush, tapping it in, nothing too crazy. And in the meantime, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of hydration. I'm just gonna use my little Dior lip oil, just because my lips are feeling kind of dry right now. Much better, much better. Okay, so under eye concealer. Everyone's biggest struggle, in my opinion, especially working at Sephora. I feel like this is typically people's concern. Typically, if you are creasing and you're getting fine lines in areas that you do not naturally have fine lines, there's too much product. So that's why I always like to start where I say in like this C shape, because this is typically where we're darkest, but we'll crease out here. So always start in the inside with your product and then just kind of tap out. I don't like to do the whole triangle thing because honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, it just applies way too much product. So I just pop it right here and I'm just gonna tap with my finger. I like to use my finger for this because honestly, I feel like I can feel if there's too much product and I can just melt it in really well. But I literally just tap in this area right where I need the coverage. And that's typically enough for me to get a nice brightened effect. I also really like this concealer because it's pretty much a concealer and an eye cream in one because of how much skincare is in it. It has caffeine, peptides, hyaluronic acid, so a lot of stuff to actually brighten the eyes over time. So I like it because it doesn't only cover your under eye circles, but it also can help treat your under eye circles as well. I also love this for covering acne spots because of the skincare in it. It also has arnica, which helps soothe the skin. So especially if you're dealing with inflammation, I highly recommend. And then I always just take whatever's left over just in that little inner corner area because again, this kind of C shape is where I get really dark. And I almost have like that kind of bluey tone in there. So that's why I like to do it there. And then whatever's left on my finger, I literally just wipe on the back of my hand because I don't need any more product. And then I just take my brush and kind of just do an extra tap all underneath just to make sure it's nice and blended. Sometimes I go up top and you just get that really nice lifted, brightened effect. We look alive. I look like I had good sleep last night. All the things that we need. And then again, when I'm happy with that, I just kind of tap out with my brush and then go on top of the lid as well. Ta-da! We're looking live. Now, from here, typically what people do is they start doing their powders. In my opinion, if you're really trying to get your makeup to last all day, use creams. I'm telling you, it will make your makeup look so much more natural and it will last so much longer, especially if you go in with the powder afterward. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Again, I'm not gonna take the applicator and just go right onto my face because I just find that it just doesn't look good. Honestly, it applies way too much product, so I like to take it on my brush and always start where you want it darkest. So I'm gonna start in the kind of like hairline and then I'm just gonna blend towards my face or towards the center of my face. And that's just gonna give me a very like natural, like, ooh, where is this shape coming from? It's just me. It's just my natural cheekbone, okay? And then it doesn't give you any of that like orange line or anything like that. So sometimes I like to pull my hair like I am now, just to kind of really work it into the hairline. And then I just kind of am tapping this all in, creating a nice little shape, a little bit of a sun-kissed vibe. I do have a sun-kissed tutorial that I uploaded not too long ago if you guys are really trying to get like a sun-kissed look. Whatever's left over I go into the crease with, so then everything is just kind of getting nice and defined again. Because what's nice about foundation is everything gets covered, but then at the same time you lose those natural shadows that you have, and sometimes things can feel and look really flat. So that's why I think bronzer and blush really make you end up looking more natural, even though in a way you're applying more product, it ends up looking better. So I take a little bit on my nose like I just did then, just to again create some shape, and then I'll take some on my forehead as well, just to create a little bit more shadow and warmth. This is also where you can be very custom with your makeup. Like if you like to shorten the forehead or really, you know, shape your nose, like this is where you can really get fun and creative with it and kind of enhance the things that you want to enhance. As much as this is a tutorial, like do what makes you feel best, because I could tell you the best way to apply makeup and how I do it, but sometimes it just doesn't translate. So take these tips and tricks, try it out for yourself, apply it to your own face and see how that goes. But again, there's no rules to this. Like just have fun and feel good, okay? That is the main goal of this video. Again, we're just creating a little bit of shape, but do you see how natural the cream looks? Like it doesn't look like it's sitting on top of the skin. It looks from within, I like to say. And I just kind of tap almost onto the cheek too, just so I get that nice warmth. Again, whatever's left over, just kind of take it in the crease, give a little bit of shape. And then it's like, do I have an eyeshadow on? Do I not? Nobody knows. I just know that I have a little bit of bronzer. But in my opinion, it's like all those like little things that make such a difference and can really just like make a look just that much better. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of cream blush. I love my Rare Beauty blushes. I mean, I love cream blushes from any brand, but I have an obsession. Okay, this is the one that I've been really loving. It's called Adore. It's not one that you can buy, but that's what I'm gonna use today because that's the color that I want. So I'm so sorry. But another one that you can always do is Hope. Hope I find is very similar. You can kind of see them here. Like it's just a little bit brighter. Even Grace you could do. You just have to do a little bit of Grace to kind of get the effect of Adore, but I just adore, okay? So I'm sorry about it, but I'm being honest with y'all, okay? But I'm just gonna put it right on the apples of the cheeks. The sad part about this is that this is running out. And I don't know what I'm gonna do when it runs out. I mean, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end up using the rest of my Rare Beauty blushes, but I'm not ready for that day yet. Anyways, so I like to put blush right kind of on the fullest part of the cheek so I get that nice lifted effect. And I'm just taking that same brush and just tapping it in. And it's just gonna make everything look so much more natural. Give me that flush back to the skin, make everything vibe. And again, I'm just kind of like tapping. Oh my god, I am a blush girl. Like blush gives me actual life. Like I'm not trying to be dramatic right now, I'm just being real. Like this is my favorite part of my makeup routine, hands down. When I get to the blush step, oof. I actually might take a little bit of Grace and put it on top because I kind of want it a little bit brighter. So let's do that today, just to be a little bit fun. But I typically go with either like a pink blush or like a peachy pink blush or a real peachy blush. Honestly, I kind of do any colors of blush, to be honest with you, but those are typically what I kind of fluctuate between. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh my god. And like, I just love how cream liquid blushes, like they just give you that life, but they don't dull you out. You know what I mean? Like you get that nice glow from it. Oh my God, it actually sets my soul on fire. Same thing as the bronzer, I take whatever's left over in the crease and I put some on the nose just to make me look a little bit sun-kissed. Like I've just been in the sun, but not too much. Like she doesn't have a sunburn, but she looks alive, okay? Oh my God, you can like see my personality coming out now that I have blush on. Like it's actually ridiculous. Let's take a little bit of Grace. I'm gonna mix her up because I think she's been sitting there for a hot minute. I would show you guys how many liquid blushes I have sitting there, but I think I would actually be embarrassed. This one is more of like a berry, so I'm just gonna take a little bit. I'm telling you, these blushes like give you a lifetime supply, but it's just gonna give me a little extra life. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I might layer another blush on top just to be freaking crazy. Just freaking cuz. And these two, I always say like start with a little bit because again, you can always add, but also be kind of quick with them because they do last very long and they will kind of dry down. Like they won't dry down where they go matte. Some of them are matte, but be quick with it because you might be surprised how quickly they do kind of set in place. I'm alive. I'm me again. Who is she? I'm me. I'm me. Okay, I'm actually gonna take another blush just because I'm insane. I'm gonna take this Ilia cream blush. Just with my brush, I'm just gonna take a little bit extra. Like a super pretty pink color. And I'm gonna go like almost under my eye with it just to get like super intense. And just like really nice and sun-kissed. Oh my God. Like honestly, I don't think I'll ever get sick of blush. Like this is the one thing I gotta have. See how I still have this like nice glow coming through? It's like, is she wearing makeup? Is she not? We don't know. We really don't know. The people don't know. Now, when it comes to powder, again, because I'm a glowy gal. Yes, I am oily, but I like to glow. Okay, that is my vibe. That is my aesthetic. Okay, but I always say less is more with powder, okay? Because you can always mattify. You can always add more powder. But when it comes to glow, in my opinion, the only real way to bring it back is either layering again with like a cream blush or using setting spray and like some sort of like a glowy hydrating mist for the face. So I always say less is more with powder, especially if you're dry, like, or if you're more mature, like you might not need any powder. Like I just feel like honestly, sometimes it's just unnecessary if I'm being fully honest with you. Like if you don't like the powder, don't wear it. Point blank period. So I'm really only gonna mattify where I want to mattify, which for me is like the T-zone area. I like to be glowy on the cheeks. I like to still be glowy in the T-zone area, but I know that that glow is gonna come through no matter what, just from my natural oils. So I'm just gonna take a little brush. This is like a Sephora tapered powder brush. I think it's discontinued. I would give you the number, but it doesn't exist anymore. And I'm using the airbrush powder from Charlotte Tilbury, and I literally tap it right in the areas I need. Another rule of thumb is always tap out any creases before setting with powder, or you're gonna set that crease, okay? So tap out any creases you need to, which for me, I don't have any going on right now. Normally I have to tap out like 1 or 2 under my eye, but we're actually good today, so woohoo. But I only do this area, the center of my face, kind of above my lip, because I don't like that like sweaty lip look. Not a vibe for me. And I kind of go around my contour as well, just for a little extra setting. Anywhere where you feel like you want to mattify or say the makeup doesn't last as long, put on a little bit of powder. But again, like less is more. So again, you can always add, you can always continue to mattify throughout the day, but the glow is hard to get back, especially if you're a dry girl. No. I love this powder though, because it's so airbrush, like it gives you that matte look without looking dry. Now, like I said before, if you're really trying to make your makeup last all day, set your creams with powder. And again, you don't need a lot because you already have that like base color down. You're really just trying to like set it in place. This is Sublime Flush Blush. I love it because it gives you a glow without it going glittery. So again, I'm just gonna kind of set with this. But you see how I'm still glowing? That's what I want. Again, I just place it right in the same spots as I did my powder or my cream. And I'm just using, I think this is a number 55. Yeah, 55 brush from Sephora. Like, I actually cannot get enough of this powder. It's somewhat ridiculous. Like, I could actually keep adding and adding and adding and I won't think I look stupid, but I need to stop because I know I will. You know? That's where I'm at with this blush. And again, I'm a blush girl, so like I can just get insane with it. I like to use the same brush for bronzer and blush. I really should get like another one of these, but sometimes I just refuse to spend money, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. This one I think is the, yeah, Radiant Bronze Light, and I just kind of dusted off my brush so it doesn't have like a ton of fresh powder on it from the blush. And I just kind of tap some of the product on, and then I'm just gonna kind of set my bronzer. Same placement, kind of starting in the hairline. And I still am tapping because I don't want to disrupt anything underneath. I literally just want to set it in place. So I'm just gonna kind of go under my nose, a little bit on my nose. And then we'll do a little bit in the hairline as well, up top. These ambient lighting powders, like that's basically the line that Hourglass has for powders. The formula is literally designed to act like butter, to feel like butter on the skin, to give you that like blur with the glow, but without like a glittery glow. So if that's something that you like, I highly recommend. If you don't want to spend the money on these powders individually, they have minis. Good bang for your buck, because those things, they'll last you a lifetime. They also always have really good holiday collections, which they basically sponsor animals. So even though you're spending like half your paycheck, you can kind of rationalize it because like you're supporting animals. So keep that in mind. But you literally get like 6 ambient lighting powders for like 110 bucks. And I think this is like 88. So just a little food for thought there. It's actually ridiculous how expensive these are, but like the formula, they do really make up for it, I won't lie. Next thing I'm gonna do is a little bit of highlighter. This one is a very glittery, glowy highlighter. It's the Artist Couture, but I'm just gonna take a little bit and pop it in my inner corner of the eyes. I love doing this because it gives me that like awaken look. I love to do a little bit on the tip of my nose. Give that little bit of like a button nose effect. Just super, super cute. Adorable. I like to do a little bit under the brow as well. A little bit of an extra glow. A little bit of like a lift on the brow as well. Now, I used to love putting highlighter on the cheeks, but because my cream blushes are so glowy, I don't really need it. So I've been actually skipping out on that. Now I'm really debating doing a little bit of eyeliner, but I also like don't really want to wear eyeliner today, but I also want to show you guys how I do my eyeliner. So I think I'm just gonna do it. Let's just do it. Let's just be fun. I like to use the Stila. Honestly, any sort of black liner will work, of course. I'm giving you guys a guideline. You don't need to go out and buy every single exact product that I'm using. If you want to do that, great, go off, be my guest and let me know how it goes. But this is a guideline. You don't have to use the same brands. You don't have to spend your whole paycheck to get this look. Just use it as a guide, okay? But for liquid eyeliner, this is how I do it. I'm gonna do it really quick because that's just how I do things. I'm gonna stamp along my lash line, and then once I get to the edge, then I'm gonna wing it out. You can almost like follow your lower lash line up if you need a guideline, but always pay attention to where your crease ends. Mine is like almost a hooded eye. Like that's what like a hooded eye would look like. So I have to be very mindful because when I connect the liner back, I can't go too far up, or I'm gonna get into this crease and then it's gonna be all wonky. It's gonna be all crazy. You can actually tell that this crease ends lower than this one. So this one's always easy for me. So I always start with the side that I'm more difficult or have a harder time doing. I always start on the halfway point. So I just stamp it. You could literally stop right there. And you see how it just starts to lift the corner of the eye? This is a great hack. Say you're in high school or middle school and you're starting to branch into eyeliner and you don't want it to go insane. Start with this. Literally stamp it. And again, I don't go all the way to the inner corner. I just start halfway. So it just gives me that nice like winged out cat eye effect. And now that I'm all the way at the end, now I wing it out. This eyeliner is low-key running out, so I'm switching to my brown because I literally don't have time for this. Let's do some mascara. This mascara I feel like is always in all of my tutorials. I always use it. I just love how it like separates and defines your lashes, and you can really like build them up without it getting clumpy. It also doesn't transfer, which is huge for me because I do have really long lashes where like if I look up they touch. So I always need a mascara that's like lengthening and curling, but one that doesn't transfer, because I literally will get like just like dots or like black all over my eye, and I hate that. Now all that's left is a little bit of lips. I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. It's just like a really cute natural lip color, especially for like a nice kind of pinky shade. And I just follow my natural lip line, and then if I want to overline, I just kind of do it in the center. Give that little bit of like a pout. This shade and Iconic Nude are some of my favorites. And then I'm just gonna pop on a little bit of gloss. I think today I'm gonna use this Tarte Maracuja. Oh, it's not the one I wanted. This one, but it's the Cherry Blossom. It gives me a really nice like lip balm, lip gloss look. Last but not least, I'm just gonna set the face. This is the new Laura Mercier Translucent Pure Setting Spray 16 Hour. I just kind of fan my skin so it dries a bit. My last trick is that you can always, after the setting spray, go in with just a little bit of extra powder, just to that center bit. And it just kind of sets it a little bit extra. That's what I like to do. Okay, you guys, so this is the finished look. This is like my everyday look that I love to do. It's like my tried and true. But if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you end up trying this tutorial. And if you do, definitely tag me on Instagram so I can see your recreation. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. And I can't wait to see you guys in my next video.